Well, hello, and welcome back to my channel, The Spiritually Awakened Man. Today's video is going to be around just this concept as it relates to the term spiritual awakening. As most of you know by now, this channel really is about people that are just getting going with their spiritual awakening. And I lean in a little toward how guys view this information because I noticed through all the different seminars that I've attended and online group sessions and so forth, so many more women seem to embrace their spiritual awakening, where men seem to hold off. It's maybe 70% women, 30% men, most things I see, and that fluctuates. But I thought about it and I realized that men, me being a man, we tend to buy off on things after we've seen the proof, the data, the science, or I believe women know more intuitively when something feels right to them and they'll pursue it based on that feeling. Men have the same feeling. They just don't go with it right away. They need that other layer of, well, prove it to me. I need to see more, that sort of thing. And I think what happens in the beginning is it keeps a lot of guys from going down that path to investigate this thing called a spiritual awakening. And I think they just can't get over that one step, and then they get distracted and maybe don't think about it again for a long time, or maybe never. So I thought when I can, and when I have some data points, I can put it in terms that guys might relate to a little bit more. That's just a little sub focus of this group. But anyway, this topic today I thought was important. It sounds pretty basic, right? Spiritual awakening. When I got to thinking the other day, people that aren't really down this path yet, or down it very far, they're thinking to themselves, awakening to what? This is the life I live in. This is my reality. I see it. I understand it. I might not be happy with every aspect of it, but this is it. This is it. What am I awakening to? Yet you have those nagging questions in the back of your mind that weren't nagging you before. Maybe they popped in and out occasionally, but they weren't nagging you. They weren't reoccurring. They weren't messages like they are now. What am I doing here in this reality? Do I like it? Would I like to change it? Why am I here? Why do I have to make these decisions that I make that cause me pain, that are challenging, that feel like the wrong move? Why am I in this situation, relationship, this professional situation, family situation, and others, right? There's lots of them, of course. What is it about that? Why am I even having to go through that over and over again, maybe? Well, that's part of what the awakening is all about, is understanding why and what it is. It's laying out your pathway. And can you change that pathway? So when I say awakening to what, that's what I want to get into a little more in this video. By the way, I'd really appreciate it if you could like this video. If you like it enough to want to subscribe so you know when I come out with more videos, please do that. It really helps these channels to get going. We're all trying to build a community so we can get some group thought, some group comments, and that helps to further these topics and an understanding of them when we really get a group of people that are participating. So please help me get my stature up by liking. Anyway, so the spiritual side, I think throws some people off. I think it throws lots of guys off, actually, because they think, well, maybe they were raised, maybe they feel like they're atheists, or, they were raised in a particular religion. They understand religion. They're comfortable with it, to whatever level that is. And they're spiritual in that way. And, what is this whole spiritual thing? What they don't really realize is what the spiritual part is really referring to. Okay. And this is the way I think about it. There's a base layer of, it's called the spiritual layer. It's about where we've come from, where do we go, the fact that we're here living having a temporary human experience on this planet Earth, and we're here to learn something. And there's actually something beyond this reality that we're living in right now. And then on top of that layer is another layer. That layer is comprised of all the different religions like that have been built on top of a base of spirituality. And they're all different. Many of them are similar, like Christianity is similar in that way, but each Christian religion has significant differences. They've differentiated. And there's reasons why that they're that way, based on when they were created and what the purpose was. The purpose is change. It changes over, this is thousands of years, right? It's changed. That's not what we're talking about so much. Spirituality is a base of spirituality. It finds its way into many religions. And it's up to each one of us, if we are following a religion, to do our best to understand the reality and what's put in there as a control factor. And I want to use the word manipulation, but I don't want to use it in necessarily an evil way. But it's a manipulation of society. Sometimes society needed to be manipulated to keep them from doing some bad things. Okay, but my point is it changes, but spirituality doesn't change. Spirituality, the base layer, the fundamentals, they are what they are, and they haven't changed. It's the interpretation of them that's changed. And so we're not talking about that. That's between you and your religion, although there are similarities, right? I mean, at the base of it, the prime creator is God and everything that comes from God and all that stuff. But a spiritual awakening has to do with not just letting that layer on top of spirituality, the core of spirituality, drive your life and your judgments and your belief systems, because they're not all there to be valid anymore. While there's a lot of goodness in religion, from my personal perspective, okay? I don't want to make this video about that, but it's a differentiating point. I think it throws people off. It did me. I wasn't looking for some kind of a born again experience. I was trying to answer some questions that were plaguing me, like the kind of questions that plague everybody, but things to do with life. Why is the world the way it is? Why am I in this situation in life? How come I made this decision about life that took me down a path that was ultimately not the path I wanted to go down, but it's the path I had to go down to learn something, to get me on the right path. Things like that. It's confusing. You realize one day you think you got your act together, and then the next day you're confused as to what that act really is, what's really important to you anymore. It's different than what we were taught is important, maybe. As kids, it all starts when we're kids, really young. We're programmed because there's nothing else in our heads. We're programmed by the society, our families, and what we see around us. And then we build on top of that. And that becomes our belief systems of the way things are. We do our best to think things through so we understand these belief systems so we can accept them. But many of them are not correct, and they're not based on a good foundation. So when I say awakening to what, that's a great part of what we're awakening to, is the fact that what we thought was our reality and was kind of set and just the way it is needs to be questioned, because it's not all the way it's supposed to be. In fact, most of it isn't. And we have to come to grips with that. We have to be bold enough to ask these questions and want to know the truth of what reality really is. And once you get past some of this beginning stuff and you start to become comfortable with the information, and you have to use discernment and learn how to be smart and listen to your higher consciousness. That voice in your head, sometimes it's your ego thinking and giving you answers, okay? But a lot of the time, it's your higher consciousness trying to plant ideas in your head that you need to pursue. Like, what's this spiritual awakening thing? Maybe there's something there that explains why I'm feeling so uncomfortable about myself lately and so unsure of myself, unsure that I'm going down the right path, I'm pursuing the right things, that I enjoy what I'm doing, that I'm fulfilled in some way, that I'm giving in some way, providing service to others and not just service to me. I'm not giving 2 nickels about what other people think about me. Or before, your ego says, I care about what other people think. I care about how they perceive me and where they put me in the hierarchy of their social circles. You realize that's just a bunch of crap. That's what awakening is, and getting comfortable with it. Some people will never awaken, by the way. So congratulations for you for even being here. It's a big move. But what I'm here to kind of explain to you is just a little bit of this framework, just a little bit. Continue pushing this. What you'll learn is that your reality is something that you create. It's not the reality you're born into, and you have to accept. You create a change in your reality by learning how to go within inside you and listen to the messages that are coming into you through your higher self, which is your soul. You're just a part of your soul down here having a human experience to learn something. They call it the University of Life. Maybe it's the University of Afterlife, because that's where we're all going. We're all going to go back, right? And move on to something else, another adventure, another journey. So we need to make the most of this one. We should be enjoying this one as much as possible. This is a gift for us to learn some things, to have some experiences, understand how to overcome our ego and listen to our heart, others, to share this information with others and enjoy this life. Well, this life has been somewhat hijacked from us in terms of kind of the picture I just painted. It's not been controlled by us. We've been controlled by it. And the awakening part is realizing that and realizing what's really going on so we can have a higher level of awareness, a higher level of consciousness on how this all works, so we can control it and our reality and help others to do the same thing. This is a massive evolution that's taking place on our planet. Never before, according to what I read and what I listen to, and is validated in many different sources that I've been exposed to. This is something going on this planet that has never happened before, and we're part of it, and we're here for a reason. We came back here on purpose to be part of this. And this is a difficult world we live in, but we came here to be here for this experience. So everything is as it should be. I don't know if it's his quote or not, but that's what I read in a Deepak Chopra book a while back, and it stuck with me forever, like years, like 30 years. When things are difficult, just remember everything is as it should be. So look for what you're supposed to learn, and you can get past it, get on to the better part of the journey. That's what the awakening is. It's kind of like, I look at it as like, we've been looking at this picture of reality. We've seen the same picture our whole life, more or less, and it is what it is. You can't change a painting, right? And we accept it after a while. That's just the painting. It's the way it is. It's my reality. All right, I'm comfortable with it. There's some things I'd like to change, but it is what it is. And then one day you're looking at the picture that you've been looking at for your entire life, and you see a little thread, right? It's on a canvas. It's a painting on canvas. You see a little thread that you didn't notice before. I never noticed that before. And you go up there and you tug at that thread, because that's what we do, right? We touch hot stoves to see if they're hot. And we touch wet paint to see if it's still wet. You start tugging on that little thread a little bit to see if it'll just come out and you can get rid of it. You tugged a little too hard and it started to unravel. Well, you can't like re-ravel something like that, can you? So you kind of tug a little more, and you tug a little more, and maybe it'll come off, and it just keeps unraveling. Pretty soon you realize, as you're looking through the peephole, oh my gosh, there is another painting behind this painting that I've never knew about. And we keep tugging. And then we would just resign ourselves to the fact that you can't stand it. You're interested and you want to keep, you've already pulled the dang thing. So you might as well keep tugging it, and it starts unraveling more and more. And you start to see more and more of this picture behind. That's kind of what a spiritual awakening is like. There's another picture out there, and you get a little taste of it, and you want more, and you want to see what it is, because you want to change this picture you've been looking at your entire life. You don't like it anymore. Some parts of it are okay, but you're tired of it. It's not meaningful to you anymore, and you want to see what that other picture is. And eventually you start going into different sources and getting more information. It's just like pulling more of that thread and unraveling and making that view into the picture behind bigger. It's kind of like that as a metaphor. And so embrace this spiritual awakening, because it's profound. It will change your life, and it will show you the connections to everything going on in this world, from the four walls inside your home to the entire world. If you pay attention to those things, it will answer the questions of why are things the way they are that haven't made sense ever for you. And you just kind of thought, well, I can't control any of that stuff. It's just the way it is, and I just have to live with it. Hope it doesn't come too close to home. Well, when you find out what's ahead of you, if you really want to understand what's going on, will blow your mind. But you're also going to learn how to change your reality. And that is going to blow your mind. How to go within to change what's without. What's the saying, right? As within, so without. As above, so below. And you're going to start learning to listen to your heart and not just analyze everything with your head, gentlemen. We're lopsided. We look at everything through our head, and then we ask our heart last. Listen to your heart, and then direct your head to figure out a way to deliver what your heart is after. We go within to change what's without. You start listening to your higher consciousness and things that we're all sort of aware of in conceptual form. We might call it our gut, our intuition. But what you'll really get comfortable with is the fact that it's your higher consciousness trying to advise you, because it knows what's going on more than you at this point, and it wants to help you. There's things like guardian angels. These are entities that have been there for you forever, and they're trying to tell you the right move. They're trying to help guide you down the pathway so you learn what you need to learn, what you came here to learn, and it turns out well, and you can create the life that you haven't had before. Unless your life is perfect, which nobody's life is perfect, okay? There's things they change to make themselves happier. And it's not a materialistic thing so much. Sometimes having some things in life make life easier, but it's not what life's all about. So go down this path. Be prepared to be wowed and blown away by what you find. And I hope I can help you down this path to some extent through these types of videos to help you get going. Anyway, my name is Michael Jacobs. This is the Spiritually Awakened Man channel. And again, if you'd like to like this channel, it would help me. Maybe subscribe. I'd love that. So until the next video, be well and bye for now.